For years, the agency in charge of child welfare here in New Mexico has struggled with staffing. Now they're leaning on other departments to help with the 1,000-plus backlog of cases.
The agency brought on dozens of temporary new members onto the team earlier this month. News 13 has the story after speaking with the CYFD secretary.
Overdue child welfare cases have hovered in the thousands for the last year.
Over the last 13 months, we have averaged anywhere from, I think, a low of 1,400 cases to a high of about 2,400 cases.
And helping alleviate some of that burden are about 30 members of state departments besides CYFD, such as Aging and Long-Term Services, Regulation and Licensing, Health, and Corrections. CYFD Secretary Teresa Casados says she asked secretaries of those agencies for some help earlier this year.
They know their staff best and know what their qualifications are, and so giving them a briefing of what it was that we needed so that they could identify the appropriate staff that they felt would be able to assist in these investigations.
The temporary workers have been assisting CYFD for a couple weeks now, undergoing training to follow up on cases already started by CYFD staff.
They are really just gathering information. They're making phone calls to collaterals. They may be talking to the school, to parents, to grandparents, to other relatives, to neighbors, to daycare providers, just to gather information and ensure that kids are safe.
CYFD says this isn't the first time.
We've called on them in the past. They've pulled together teams. We've done it for Medicaid. We did it for a lot during COVID.
A case is overdue if it has been open for longer than 45 days. Secretary Casados says the big backlog is in part due to staff turnover, spikes in reports, and families needing service longer than expected. Once the follow-up information has been gathered on an overdue case, it's up to actual CYFD caseworkers to make a decision.
And then our staff is making those decisions and closing cases as appropriate.
Chandler Farnsworth, KRQE News 13.
Secretary Casados says she expects the extra assistance to end around the end of the month. The agency continues to work on hiring more staff and finding more foster parents.